Hello, and welcome to our Extension Ed Talk. The title of our talk today is More Plants on the Plate. I'm Donna Krug, and I am the Family and Consumer Science Agent with K-State Research and Extension located in Barton County. Today, I'm going to be sharing a fact sheet that I wrote several years ago titled More Plants on the Plate. This fact sheet was published by K-State Research and Extension about the same time that our food guide system from USDA changed from the pyramid to the plate. And so it came at a really good time for me to just kind of explain what some of the information is about increasing our fruits and vegetable and whole grain consumption. The More Plants on the Plate publication looks like this, and it is available by going to the KSRE website. The fact sheet publication number is MF2977. However, if you don't have that information in front of you, you can certainly Google More Plants on the Plate and it will come up. If you do not have internet available, just simply stop by any of your local extension offices across the state of Kansas and they will be able to print that off for you. I really encourage you to print off not only the fact sheet, but also the leader's guide and the recipes that I have included in this information. So, when I think of More Plants on the Plate, I think of some really neat words that all start with C, and that is crispy, crunchy, and colorful. This is actually a slide that shows bins at a farmer's market, and nothing's more colorful than fresh vegetables that are ripe, in season, and available at our farmers' markets. These are what we call nutrient-dense foods, and unfortunately, Americans as a whole are not choosing nutrient-dense foods as often as we should. And so it is creating a problem. We know that it is in the news daily. These points here really show what the plate now looks like. Instead of the pyramid, we have the plate. It should be a 9-inch plate, and we do know that we should be eating more fresh fruits and vegetables. In fact, they should cover half of the plate. Along with that, something else we hear in the news is that we should be eating more whole grains. Whole grains will provide some great nutrients as well as fiber. We also should be exercising regularly. You know, that's not really food, but hand in hand will help us to be healthy if we choose healthy food and then exercise more. A couple of other points are that we should avoid fried foods, and we should also skip those sugary beverages that add empty calories to our diet. Dr. Colin Campbell, who is a co-author of the China study, said that there are virtually no nutrients in animal-based foods that are not adequately provided by plants. Now, he's not saying you don't eat meat. He's just giving you options to choose more fresh fruits and vegetables to kind of complement the meat that might be on your plate. Make that a smaller portion and make the vegetables and grains larger portions. And we know that an American, for the most part, eats around 2,200 calories. That would be an adult. But unfortunately, that's what we should have, is the 2,200 calories. But we know that we are eating 2,673 calories on average per day. Now if you do the math, you can see that we're eating nearly 500 more calories than our bodies need. And so that in turn gives us information as to why we have some of the problems that we have today in our country. We have calories that are eaten beyond those that are needed for growth, maintenance, and physical activity explains the increase in the number of overweight and obese individuals. So, we're going to take a look here at some benefits of consuming more plants. I've already mentioned one of them, and that is weight control. So again, if you think about whole grains and fruits and vegetables, they are very low in calories and low in fat. And so they're very natural foods to help someone with their weight control. Another thing that kind of goes along with that, they provide a lot of dietary fiber. This gives us a feeling of fullness, and that is a really good thing to help us to, again, benefit more from eating those plants. And then the third thing is that it does help to manage some chronic disease management. You know, adding some more plants to your plate is a really good way to alleviate some of the symptoms of perhaps arthritis. It can kind of help you keep your diabetes in check, and it can even help with some of the things like cancer prevention. And so again, there's just many good reasons why we should be adding more plants to our plate. We are going to talk more about this in the second and third section of our presentation. I'm going to go ahead and have us take a break here, and when we come back, I'll be asking you for, I'll be sharing some questions with you and then answering those for you. We'll be back in just a moment.
Your home's exterior is the best defense against harsh weather conditions. With insulated vinyl siding, energy-efficient windows, spray foam insulation, and metal roofing from AquaShield Roofing and Construction, you can protect your home from howling winds and ice-cold temperatures. Don't let Mother Nature interfere with the comfort of your home. Call or visit us online today for a free estimate. AquaShield Roofing and Construction. Our team is dedicated to your complete satisfaction.
Western Auction and Real Estate LLC is ready to travel to you. Their team includes auctioneers and real estate specialists that will exceed your expectations. They offer experience in agriculture real estate, commercial and residential sales, and farm equipment auctions. Plus, they conveniently travel to your location. And it doesn't stop there. Visit westernauctionandrealestate.com today to shop their online equipment auctions too. For professionalism from concept to completion, it's Western Auction and Real Estate.
Make a difficult choice an easy one with Cedar View Assisted Living's knowledgeable and caring staff. Your loved one will be professionally taken care of as they transition into their new community. With movies, holiday parties, planned exercises, and games, residents will have opportunities every day to enjoy their time at Cedar View. Multiple room styles are available, ensuring a just right fit for your loved one. Come see Cedar View Assisted Living for yourself next to Sternberg Museum. The care you need, the home you want.
There's no reason to dread tax season this year with Weller's Tax and Accounting Service on your side. But tax preparation and planning are just a small portion of what we can do for you. Our firm offers a wide range of services to custom fit your individual needs, including payroll services, bookkeeping, IRS representation, financial statements, business consulting, budgeting, and much more. Weller's Tax and Accounting Service, large enough to offer you what you need, but small enough to give you the attention you deserve.
$10,000 in 10, but give 15.
With 7 agents and 3 locations, Hammett Land & Auction Incorporated can meet your every need when it comes to your next sale. Visit them at hammettauction.com and you'll find all their upcoming sales, including farms, ranches, as well as farm equipment and even real estate listings, both residential and commercial. They've been serving Western Kansas since 1983, and with offices in Stockton, Russell, and Hayes, they're always nearby to assist you. Hammett Land & Auction Incorporated. Contact them today.
$25 would get $21,000.
Psalm 91:4 says, "And under his wings you may seek refuge." There is an organization close to home, ready to help victims of domestic violence called Under His Wings. They are privately funded and not government regulated for your privacy and protection. Under His Wings serves Graham, Rooks, Osborne, Norton, Phillips, and Smith counties. If you or your family are needing support or a safe haven, call 785-434-6789. Under His Wings, you may seek refuge.
Welcome back to our Extension Ed Talk, More Plants on the Plate. During this next section, I want to share with you some questions you might have about eating more of a plant-based diet, and then try to answer those for you. So we're going to go to our first question, and that is, will I get enough protein if I eat more plants? And I have found a chart. I worked to put this chart together and put it into the fact sheet. And you'll see first off that lentils that are cooked, if you would eat a cup of those, you would benefit with 18 grams of protein. So that's really quite high in protein. And then pinto beans, as well as many other types of beans, when they are cooked, would also give you a nice portion of protein. And here we see pinto beans at 12 grams. The quinoa is a grain dish, and quinoa is a whole grain, and again, a good source of protein at 9 grams. Of course, peanut butter, very popular with young people and old people alike, and so 2 tablespoons gives us 8 grams. If you put that peanut butter on a couple of slices of whole wheat bread, you would bump that protein consumption to 13 grams. And then the final two foods on our list are brown rice that has been cooked at 5 grams and broccoli that has been cooked at 4 grams. So if you put together a broccoli and rice casserole and added some cheese to that, you would have a great amount of protein as well. So it's really not hard to get the 45 to 70 grams of protein that is recommended for people during the day. In fact, studies show that a lot of people, most Americans, get actually 75 grams of protein. Probably the group of individuals that might be a little bit low would be the elderly, who just really aren't eating a lot of food at all. They might be just a little bit low in protein, but otherwise it's usually not a problem. Another question that we get with the more plant-based food is, won't the carbohydrates that are found in foods make me fat? Well, the answer to that is that complex carbohydrates that are found in fruits, vegetables, and grains are really not fattening. When these foods are consumed in their natural state, they are very low in calories and high in fiber. I know I mentioned that earlier in my presentation, that really that is a real benefit of eating more plants and more of the whole grains, because we know that vegetables in their own raw state or even in their cooked state are very low in fat, or it's when we do something to them. If we make potatoes into French fries, or if we add a lot of sauce to something, that's when we're adding some things that aren't as desirable. But when we are having just whole grains and fruits and vegetables, they're really quite healthy. Another question that I get from young audiences when I talk to a group of young families, they'll say, well, my kids hate vegetables, so won't I be throwing away a lot of good food? And what I really like to encourage them to do is to try to prepare vegetables in a variety of ways. I like to encourage them to get the kids to pick out the vegetable that they will be eating that evening, because I think that makes them more likely to want to eat that vegetable. Prepare it just simply raw by washing and peeling a vegetable. Or you could lightly steam something, and that way it still is crunchy and not mushy. I don't know about you, but I don't like mushy vegetables, and I doubt that kids really do either. A third way would be to stir-fry vegetables and use those in a dish. I like to tell a little bit about Antonia Demas. She is an educator out on the East Coast, and she wrote a curriculum titled Food is Elementary that she uses in the classroom. And I just love what she says in her, I heard her lecture one time. And she talked about the fact that food, when you get kids to not only touch it or smell it and feel it, but even grow it. So she likes to do a school garden and get the kids to plant the seeds and watch their beans grow, and then actually take and harvest the beans and prepare them in a dish. And she said that kids love vegetables, and you will find that out. So I really like to, again, remind parents that children are like little sponges, and you'll see on my next slide, I shared some information with the third graders at Eisenhower School in Great Bend a number of years ago. And I found that they absolutely love the veggies that we sampled the day that I visited. And I think that you as parents or grandparents just need to be great role models with children and remind them that this is something very good for them, but also very tasty, and get them involved in growing them and preparing them. And I think you'll be surprised at the results. Another question that people may ask, especially if they have a youngster who is maybe out for a sport, and they'll say, well, what about an athlete? Because they're hungry all the time. And I like to share this book that was written by our Tony Gonzalez. He is a fairly famous football player. He played for the Kansas City Chiefs, and then he also finished his career in Atlanta. But Tony, about 10 years ago, had some health issues crop up, and he found that for him personally to switch to a more plant-based diet was a big help to his overall health. He authored this book along with his nutritionist, Misty Doolin, and they put this book together. So I like to share it a lot of times when I'm going to maybe a youth audience, because they can really relate to Tony Gonzalez and they realize that this is a very good thing. In the All Pro diet, he reveals that how adopting a diet that was high in plant-based, unprocessed food has given him more strength, stamina, and energy than ever before. And you know, he found out he did need to have some lean meat added to his diet, but he now goes into the training kitchen and really encourages other football players to eat a healthier diet. So that's kind of exciting. Okay, we're going to go to one more of our questions, and that is that it looks like eating a more plant-based diet means that we have to cook from scratch. And I will say that yes, eating a plant-based diet does take some planning if you're going to include grains and legumes. But one thing I have found is if we soak the grain or the beans overnight, then they're ready to cook the next day. I like to soak beans especially, and then while I'm getting ready in the morning, I might cook those beans. That takes about 50 minutes, and so it's really about perfect timing. And then I might put my grain on to soak in the morning so that when I come home from work, it's about 45 minutes from start to finish till we are eating. And then you also can consider eating raw vegetables and fruits often. And that way, they take little or no time. Just simply wash and peel, and you have food that's ready to go. When we come back, I'll finish up with some more questions and answers, and then we'll take another look at some of the things I want to review with you. Back with more Plants on the Plate in just a moment.
Keeping healthcare close to home. That's the focus at Norton County Hospital. With 130 employees and 8 medical providers, we offer a wide range of services.
I'm one of the doctors that delivers here, and quality care for the mother and infant is one of our top priorities.
Patient care is also available through family clinics in Norton and Logan.
Our team works hard to reduce the stress of travel for patients by providing as many local services as possible.
The Norton County Hospital, dedicated to caring, commitment, and community.
T-Max Trucking, LLC delivers service you can depend on and serves all of Northwest Kansas. They have shale pits located from Logan to Waukene that provide convenient access to your location. T-Max Trucking specializes in road maintenance, and they have a dozer, dump truck, backhoe, and grader to get the job done right. Their locally based business was established in 2012 and is both licensed and insured. Let T-Max Trucking, LLC deliver service you can depend on.
Safety at a peace of mind price. Nex-Tech Wireless introduces the simple starter plan. For only $15 per month, you can rest easy knowing you can always reach your child on their smartphone. The plan includes unlimited calling, unlimited texting, and unlimited data while on Wi-Fi. You don't have to worry about data overages, and your child will enjoy all the benefits of a smartphone. It's the simple starter plan from Nex-Tech Wireless. Unlimited talk, text, and data while on Wi-Fi for only $15 per month.
Make moving and storing your home or business easy with storage solutions of Hayes and Victoria. With 2 facilities, they can store anything from antiques to automobiles and everything in between. Interior units for items needing special care. Drive-up units of all sizes, perfect for home or business. And outside storage for trucks, boats, and RVs. As an authorized U-Haul dealer, they have everything for your next move, across town or across the country. Storage solutions of Hayes and Victoria, making moving and storing easy.
Get more of the potential you plant with the latest from 360 Yield Center. Unlock trapped nutrients and speed residue breakdown with 360 Chain Roll. Prevent root-restricting berms to give roots access to potential-boosting moisture and nutrients with 360 Bullet Ripper Points. And capture more yield at every harvest by reducing header loss by 80% with 360 Yield Saver replacement gathering chains.
Hi?
We're looking for insurance.
Oh, let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Let us shop for you.
Contact Rogers & Associate to learn more.
And welcome back to our final segment of More Plants on the Plate. We so far have talked about the benefits, the health benefits of adding more plants to your diet in the form of vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. And then we also talked about the questions and answers that you might have if you were to eat more plants, what this is going to cause and how you're going to feel. So I have a few more of those questions, so we'll turn to the next slide, and it's about how to afford more grains and fresh produce, because we know that some of those things are kind of expensive at either the market or farmer's market. But pound for pound, fresh produce and grains are really less expensive than meat or packaged convenience foods. And then most of the foods that have added fats and sugars, we know that our whole grains and vegetables are less expensive. We also know there are many health benefits, so you may save in the area of medical expenses. And then, of course, if you can, consider purchasing fresh food in season at local farmers markets. That is a great way to save some money. And then there are other options, including frozen or canned during those off seasons. So there are some great ways to afford to eat healthy. And I think if you find that you are just keeping your eyes open and watching sales, you will find that this is a very economical way to eat. Another question that you may have relates to calcium. Calcium is another really important nutrient for our bones. It really helps with folks who may be experiencing bone loss, so we know that we need some calcium-rich foods. We also know that plants don't normally we don't usually think of them as having a lot of calcium. But as we look at the next slide, I made it simply very similar to the protein slide, but there really are some plant-based foods that offer us a fair amount of calcium. The first one on the list is blackstrap molasses with 400 milligrams in just a 2 tablespoon serving. The surprise, I think, is that dark greens like collards or kale are quite high in calcium. And so again, those would be great things to add. We know that our food producers have started to add calcium fortified minerals to our orange juice, and so that is another way to give us those nutrients. And then tahini, you may not be familiar with that one. It is actually an ingredient that is found in hummus, and that is actually one of the recipes on my recipe guide that you will also receive. But tahini is ground up sesame seeds, so they're ground into a paste, and they are really quite high in calcium as well. And almonds, a few almonds would also provide you with calcium. So there really are several choices. If you're not either able to drink milk, or if that is just not something that you include enough of in your diet, these are other great ways to include calcium in your diet. We have questions about beans sometimes. Sometimes people want to know, are they an incomplete protein? I think we've heard that a long time ago. And in fact, I think when I was at Kansas State as a student, we did talk about incomplete proteins, how you had to complement them with another source of protein and eat those at the same time. And now we are saying that you just need to consume those over the course of a day. It does not have to be during the same meal. So that kind of changes that so that it is not as cumbersome as you do your meal planning. If you have beans at one meal, you can have a complementary protein at another time, and it will be just fine. Another question that I get a lot would be about lentils. People want to know, are they just as nutritious as dried beans, for instance, kidney, black, or garbanzo? And the easy answer to that is absolutely. As you saw back on the chart with protein, they are quite high in protein. They are very high in fiber, which helps to lower blood cholesterol. Also, lentils are very low in fat and they're high in protein and the B vitamins. The other thing that I really like about lentils is that they are easy to prepare since they do not require soaking. And so that makes them a lot easier. They're very quick to prepare, about 30 minutes. Most lentil dishes can be ready to eat. So again, cooking with more plants on your plate is really not hard. It just takes a little bit of thought and planning. So we're going to talk now about how we could transition to a healthier diet. So I'm going to share a slide here, and if you look on the left, the word is more. We want to eat more of the items on the left and eat less of the items on the right, and they are very much related. So we want to eat more brown rice, so try to maybe get rid of the white rice, or if you have people that don't want to give up their white rice, maybe do some combination. But brown rice is a whole grain. White rice is a simple carbohydrate. So it really is much healthier to make the choice of brown rice. Also, the stone ground wheat bread is a much better choice than our enriched white bread. So that would be something that we should eat more often. We want to eat more rolled oats instead of sugary, refined cereals. We also want to eat more whole fruit rather than fruit juice. Another choice that we should eat more of would be a baked sweet potato instead of French fries, a whole grain tortilla instead of white flour tortilla, and of course lentils, legumes, and beans instead of highly processed junk food. The next couple of slides are going to show you what I think of when I see a typical day in Kansas. So this first slide has some, at the top, some breakfast type foods. What you'll notice is they're all grains, so that would give us good fiber, but I'm not seeing any fruit. I'm not seeing any dairy. It just seems to me that we are really limiting to just one food group. The other meals are, the lunch meal also has white, highly processed food. And we also see that the supper time has very little color. And so we just are really missing out. We're not really seeing very many fruits or vegetables. Now we want to show you this atypical day in Kansas. And you can't get more colorful than the foods you see here. All the fruits and vegetables and even the nuts, but adding lots and lots of great color to our plate. So this is what we want to work towards, this colorful plate. And so we want to talk about where we go from here. We want to adopt a more plant-based diet that requires a change in thinking. We know that most of our lives we have lived to eat, and now we must begin to eat to live. We need to reconnect with what we eat and savor each bite for all the benefits that we are gaining from eating whole food. I want to thank you for joining me for the More Plants on the Plate Extension Ed Talk today. I did have a couple other resources. I will just hold up one. It's this is called the New American Plate Cookbook, and it is from the American Cancer Institute, and it is an excellent resource. It does show you some great recipes, very colorful things to include in your plate. I also have one more reference. It's called Cooking the Whole Foods Way by Christina Perello, and it has also some wonderful recipes. And I have included some of those in the recipe section of this fact sheet. So again, thank you for joining me, and I'll visit with you again soon.